And good morning. How's everyone doing? Hello, Shamay. Good to see you. Hopefully, Beth is in the house too. Good morning. Good morning. If you're visiting today, go ahead and type in the chat bar and let me know you're here, just like Shamay. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming, Nicole. Good to see you as well. Just a quick announcement, we will not be doing live lecture on Thursday. We have professional development on Thursday morning, and I will be in meetings all day Thursday morning. So I put in a recording for Thursday for chapter 14. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email or a text, and we can talk about anything from chapter 14. Is that cool, Shamay, Nicole? You understand? We're going to be doing a recorded lecture on Thursday. Okay. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about chapter 13, physical and cognitive development in early adulthood. If you look at the chart that I've got going here, let's see. The chart I've got going here, you'll notice that we are now in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth age of period of human development. We're now in early adulthood. Remember, I told you that none of these age groups are really biologically determined. They instead represent sort of social categories that have some sort of, that group people into relevant groups of similar individuals. From early adulthood, we're talking about that time from when you emerge and out of adolescence into the workforce world and start trying to create a job and economic life and find a partner. So, and start the family. So early adulthood is when we switch from the teenage beliefs to basically being an adult, having the job, having the wife or husband or the romantic partner, whatever it is, and having children. So that represents this particular period of development that we're talking about. Good morning, Imani. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. I just made the announcement that Thursday's class will be a recorded lecture because I have professional development activities at work all morning long. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our early adulthood. Now, here's the weird thing about adulthood. There are no real solid markers that tell you, and it is absolute, and it is, oh my goodness, what have I done? What have I done? Studio mode, okay. And it is obvious whether you are a child or an adult. Here in America in the 21st century, that dividing line between childhood and adulthood is quite fuzzy. And if you ask a lot of people 18, 19, 20 years old, do you feel like an adult? What you're going to find is that people don't necessarily know when they've stopped becoming a child and when they've become an adult. And I would say with the economic and difficulties in the cultural complexity of our world, it takes even longer to move from adolescence into adulthood. In fact, folks, if you go back here, we could actually add in another category between adolescence and adulthood. We could call that emerging adulthood. And that's what most of you are going through right now. And so this emerging adulthood, somewhere between 18 to 25, one day in your mid-20s, you're going to wake up and realize, hell, I am an adult. But before that period, you're going to be a little bit fuzzy. What exactly makes an adult here in the United States in the 21st century? Well, nobody really knows, but let's look at some key features that might describe when you are, quote, an adult, right? The key features of emerging adulthood are identity exploration, especially in love and work. So really what we're trying to do during this emerging adulthood period is find ourselves a romantic partner of some sort and a career of some sort. And I'll bet most of you are probably struggling with that right now. This period of emerging adulthood, you're going to be really self-focused. Exactly, right. You know, Nicole brings up a good point, and your parents are suggesting that when you get into adulthood, you really don't know diddly squat about being an adult. And unfortunately, that is the truth. The world is so complex and nobody tells you exactly how it works. So you're right, Nicole, you are basically starting over again. And that's why I think a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds are really uptight, nervous, and feel like they're imposters because you really don't know that much about this new world that you've been forced into. Now, this is a time of possibilities. This is a time when you really have a chance to transform your life. Now, you can transform your life anytime. Those of you sitting in my audience at 40 or 50 or whatever, it's never too late for a transformation. But the easiest transformation is that first one as we're trying to form that adult identity. What are the markers of being adult? Hell, I don't know what makes you an adult, Nicole. You probably should talk to your friend and see what her parents or his parents said about what they think it means to be an adult. Some markers of being an adulthood: the person that has that big full-time job. Doesn't have to be a career job, but you have to be out there working day in and day out. We sometimes think of economic independence as a marker of being in adulthood, although in today's world that's even more difficult to do. And really, the one thing that I think probably is the best marker of being an adult is just taking responsibility for yourself. Now, you know what I mean? Getting up, fixing your own food, washing your own clothes, taking care of your day-to-day needs. In fact, that's what separates some people with disabilities from other people who move into adulthood. I have a cousin who has Down syndrome, high-functioning Down syndrome, but he can't quite take responsibility for himself, even though he is an adult. So we typically think of sort of this characteristic of having a job, having enough money, and being able to take care of yourself. That's an adulthood. Notice none of that has anything to do with relationships or love or anything other than sort of economic independence, if you will. Now, what should you do as a parent trying to help your child transition from adolescence to adulthood? That's actually where I'm at right now with my two boys. I have a 21 and a 22-year-old, and the 21-year-old is they're both in the middle of this process, and I'm trying to guide them, prepare them for emerging adulthood. Now, one of the things you've got to do is give your kid a chance to help around the house. If they're still in the house, make them responsible for it. Both of my boys, they still live with me, but both of them pay rent every month for living in my house. They pay their own cell bill. I ask them to stop at the store for me. I give them chances to be contributors and to do the adult things that I did when they were kids. Now's the time when you've got to be able to talk to your kid and sort of give them constructive feedback. Now, we're not arguing. I don't argue with my boys. They do what they do because they're adult men. But I sit down and I sometimes question their choices and try to give them feedback. Sometimes my boys listen to me. Sometimes they don't listen to me. That's just the way that goes. You know what I mean? Now, create positive adult connections. One of the things that you want to do is start treating your